Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Drunks. This is going to be a variety beer review, and welcome my co-host Ty. How you doing today?
Hey, what's up, Coach Ray? How you doing?
Good, good. How you doing? Cool. I put us in the background. Look at that.
Hey,
Okay,
yeah, I wanted to show off the new Drunks shirt right here in the flesh.
I like it. I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah, it's nice, right?
Yeah.
It's a little form fitting. It fit better last week. My bad.
What do you mean? You already watched it?
No, not at all. That's the first time wearing it. Just that it fit better last week. I don't know. Maybe I gained a couple pounds. I'm not sure.
Before we get in to talking about working out, let's bring out our beers so we can consume them by the time the show ends.
That
What
sounds
what's your first beer you're gonna start with?
Oh, that's so interesting. And I was back and forth with this, but I think I'm gonna go with the one that I just saw today by New World Ales out of San Jose, by the way. And it's called the 86 Kickflip. So basically, it's like it's from Murs. Murs is a rapper from Living Legends out of LA actually, and it's kind of interesting. He grew up in Mid City LA, but was in Covina for like a spell where he learned how to skateboard. That's like all his Covina friends were skaters, so he learned how to skateboard. So he has a passion for skateboarding as well as hip hop. So yeah, Murs is a rapper. I like a lot of his music. You know, not everything. He's not my favorite rapper or anything, but he's a pretty dope MC. And so this is his beer. It has his symbols and everything on it, which is kind of cool. This company again is out of San Jose, and he is a hold on, give me
That's
a
pretty cool.
second.
A hip hop inspired skater,
Yeah,
because
for sure.
kickflip is a skater word for sure. I mean,
Yeah, oh
it's
yeah,
a trick you can do.
yeah. Kickflip is one of the. I wouldn't say it's one of the harder tricks, but like as a anyone that's like claims that they're a skater on even a first level skater, they should know the kickflip, right? That's
I
like past the ollie. You do the ollie and then you do the kickflip, right?
I wasn't very good at it. I retired early from skating. I
Yeah.
got injured. Yeah.
I
Uh,
uh I can't lie. I can start a kickflip or I can actually like ollie, flip the board, but never landed properly enough on the streets versus like on carpet where I used to practice a lot. So yeah, I'm kind of a poser myself, but I used to love skateboarding.
yeah. The neighbor kids built like a ramp, and living around my block, if you remember, it was like downhill. So
Oh yeah, for sure.
you would pick up speed and get a speed wobble, and then it was my first time going off a ramp, and I flew pretty good, and then I landed and the board hit me right in the stomach and knocked the wind out of me, and I felt like I was gonna die. And I don't think I ever went on a ramp again, or I think I actually retired that day.
Well, how old were you?
I don't even remember. I was a little kid, but
Yeah.
it was bad. And then after that, when longboards came out, I gave longboards a shot, but those are pretty dangerous too because they go so fast. But they're very cool because you hardly don't have to pedal, but you can pick up like up to like 100 and plus miles per hour on those boards. I've
Yeah,
seen
they are fast.
on YouTube some guy, he's like going like he's wearing a leather suit because if you eat it, you're a dead man. So they wear like leather suits, and the cops are trying to get them because they're breaking the speed limit.
Yeah, I've seen that. They're
It's
the ones
pretty
that have
cool.
the knee pads and the elbow pads going down
Yeah,
hard.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
do you have a mug in your new location?
Yeah, I do. I like to little just like a little bit what I've learned from this brewery, and this beer specifically because Mers is he's a vegan, so he loves a good craft beer, but he's also vegan. So this brewery made a beer specifically for him. So I kind of want to give the breakdown. It's traditionally honey beers are made with bee honey, but this, however, is vegan friendly as Mers is. So they went with a very special malted barley from Gambrinus malting honey malt to create a perceived honey flavor and sweetness. Honey malt is this truly unique type of malinoidin malt meant to impart intense malt sweetness and aroma without any roast character. I'll have to try what they're trying to um, say. I'm not sure what that means, but okay. Um, Anyway, it's made with special process that enhances characteristics, like a honey-like characteristic, and it's flavored with golden honey color. And it's made from flavors of honey, bread crust, pretzels, grain, and a hint of tartness to complete the honey malt. And they added over 100 gallons of pure, another word, maracuya, Maracuja, a Spanish word. Does it sound familiar to you? Maracuja?
No, it
Passion
doesn't.
fruit. That's a
Oh,
puree.
okay, yeah.
Direct from Colombia. Oh, it's Colombian. After a clean Kolsch fermentation. So that's a German take on that. It's 6% alcohol, and they call it a Kolsch beer. So I am going to try it. I'm very curious about this. This is very new. I've never had a vegan friendly beer, I don't believe.
What I found interesting is I found well, from what you were reading, there was one point where it actually said honey, but the other
Yes,
two times it was like perceived honey or almost honey or makes it taste like honey, but it never actually said it was honey. So it was just a bunch of like who knows what to make it taste like honey.
exactly. Yeah, so that's interesting. That whatever they did, they extracted whatever out of it that that makes it okay for him to drink.
That,
And I'm
that's
gonna
a
try
good
it. This is
pour.
my new goblet. This is good for just the winter, so I don't have to fill them up too much, and just so we can have the second beer without me slurring. So here we go.
And while you taste that, I'm gonna be tasting. I've never had this one before. It's called Lost City of Zed, and it's a West Coast IPA. And here's the picture. While Ty takes a second sip to confirm. The name caught my attention, and then the logo reminded me of the Starbucks logo.
For
Uh,
sure.
yeah, not the original one where the lady was naked, but the edited version.
Yeah, I did actually read the Starbucks story, this whole Seattle thing about the marketplace and all that, how they started. So yeah, I know the symbol. That's
But
very cool.
it's just like Garden of Eve. You see like a pyramid right there. You can't with the light. There's a snake right there, and then that looks like an owl on top of her head. And while I pour this beer, let us know what you think of that one. Oh, and what'd you say the percentage is? Like 6 point something?
It's 6% even.
Okay.
It is. You can. It's very. It's definitely fruity and something I didn't expect from it. I taste the sour. It's not
Mm.
overbearing because I do not like sours whatsoever, but I do taste it being a little bit sour. Not bitter at all. Um, it's it's a little flat actually. I know this is a fresh beer.
And when you say fruity, what type of fruit are you kind of referring to? Like
It
a
tastes
sweet?
it's a little citrusy,
Okay.
and I love citrus. Maybe grapefruit orange, maybe a blood orange. But that wasn't advertised on that, and even though I'm not mad at that, it is. Oh, it's probably the honey. The honey influences maybe
Ah,
getting me. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
but it is definitely sour. There's definitely sour like,
Well,
aftertaste. It's not my favorite beer. It's not horrible at all. I'm not sure if I'd get this again though. And I love Murs. Respect to Murs. Don't get me wrong. And I would try another beer from New World Ales. I will, but this is not for me. That being said, I will finish it.
so I'm looking at this, and this one I didn't have a chance to actually look it up the brewery, but it says Eureka and Brewery
Oh,
Company. Wonder if it's from like
Eureka,
what
California, right up north.
Washington up north.
Is Eureka Washington?
I thought it's Washington. I could be wrong. Haven't made it up there yet, but yeah, this
I thought that was
beer
California.
is a 7.3. So I will be trying it, and yeah, I didn't research this one as much as my next beer, so maybe I'll.
Okay, it's definitely in California. It's by the
Okay,
Sequoia
road trip.
for sure. I've been wanting to go to Sequoias as an adult too, just to check out everything. Actually, I
You,
haven't. I don't know why I'm saying as adult. I've never been to the Sequoias. Period. I
yeah,
don't
me
believe.
neither.
Yeah,
And
I've been to Yosemite, and I love Yosemite. I hiked most of them except for Half Dome. So actually, Ray, we should do that. We climb. We have to climb Half Dome all the way. It's like a good. I forgot the mileage, but once you get to the actually Half Dome part, You have to have you seen the footage of it or heard
Yeah,
about
and
it?
yeah,
You have to walk up the stakes and you have to get
yeah.
permitted, and it's a whole thing. And we got to
So
do that.
like getting paid to do seminars and teach. And he said he's been all over the world. And when I look at his Instagram stories, he's always in different parts of the world. But he said the Sequoias National Forest is one of the most beautiful places he's seen.
Wow.
So for a world traveler, I would say that that's pretty speaking highly. And it's our in our own backyard typically. Like
It,
really,
it really is. I went to Toledo in 2020 for a funeral, a weird death, but I want to talk about that. Um, and yeah, Sequoias were like 30 minutes away, and it was like it was during a funeral. It was like the gathering after the funeral, and one of the guys was like, "Oh yeah, you got to go to Sequoia." We were on the verge of going, but I was like, maybe it's bad timing, But like, yeah, I really want to get down there. Yeah, it's too close to us, dude. It's like 6 hours away, maybe.
or is that
Uh,
what it is?
yeah,
I've
actually
looked it up
less.
before.
I would say no, 4 hours. 4 hours away. Say
Like
4 hours
Vegas.
away. It's like a Vegas trip plus, maybe a Reno trip or something like that.
Have you driven to Reno?
I have not, which is why I was going to ask you because you've been to Mount Zion and all that. And oh, that's Utah.
That's Utah.
That's
I mean,
Utah.
I've flown to Reno, but I haven't driven there. I wanted to. I wanted to drive up there and then fly back, but it was cheaper to do the round trip
Okay, I got you.
because I had never, been so far north. So I wanted to explore, rent a car, and then after running the 3 marathons, fly back. But it was just money wise, it was better to do the round trip.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So your friend, the martial artist that you're talking about, the jujitsu black belt,
Yeah.
if he's saying that the Sequoias are like one of the best places to be in the world, like I was thinking how dope Zion sounded when you went. Like, wow, he's talking about, the Sequoias. I thought Zion would be the place, which it probably is. So yeah, we definitely that could be like a weekend trip, easily done.
Well, Zion to me, I really enjoyed it. Um, but I like Sedona better. Sedona, Arizona.
Arizona.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to be going there. I'm already registered. It's always Super Bowl weekend. It'll be February 5th, 2022. They have a 5K, 10K, and half marathon. They have the virtual full marathon if you want to do it, but in
Yeah,
actual person, they only have the half. I did the last year. They did the full marathon. It was pretty brutal actually. The elevation's high. Um, I I think they had to wait a long time for the people to finish, so I believe that's why they discontinued it. But
really. Oh, really?
yeah.
Was it kind of like that one we did in Ventura, where it was like a half marathon, and then by the time the marathoners finished, like everything was gone because most people were half marathoners, and they're just kind of like dead after.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much, yeah. And then I should have brought it out, but their medal is like a triangle. So as you gather it each year, it forms a giant medal. So I
Oh,
got
cool,
3 out of the 4, and then COVID happened. And I don't know if they switched the medal or not, or it's gonna skip a year. So I might have to go back another 3 more years to
dude.
complete
Three.
the. Yeah.
Oh, Spartan does something very similar to that too. When you finish the Spartans, they have the Spartan Sprint, the Super Spartan, and the Beast. You get three. You get pieces of a circle that connects at the end, and it's pretty much pretty very similar, which is an awesome thing to do. I've done two Spartans, but I've never done the Beast. And the Beast is supposed to be hardcore. It's not supposed to be. It just sounds hardcore. It's like 15 miles, but mountain miles with like 60 obstacles. Just imagine mountain because we know mountain miles are different than regular miles. Imagine 15 of them.
Well, the original Spartan race got started off the death race, which is like really brutal, and it was so brutal that he knew majority of people won't want to do it. I forget the guy who created
Joe?
Spartan,
Yeah,
Joe. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and so then he created Spartan race for the average person to kind of do it. But the death race is like they deprive you of sleep for I don't know how long, and
Oh, what?
then they throw you out into like the snow, and then it's like run a marathon and do all this other crazy shit.
It sounds way more intense.
Yeah, it's like a 24-hour insane. That's why it's a death race, you know. Most
Yeah.
people don't want to try it. So I took a couple sips of this beer.
What
Uh,
was it called again?
this is a Eureka Brewing Company. It's called the Lost City of Zed. It's a West
Lost.
Coast IPA, and it is a 7.2.
Not bad.
No, not bad. It's good. It's light. It's got a little bit of a bitter taste. That's about it. But overall, it's good. And since I didn't really look up the ingredients, I don't know what that little hint that I'm tasting is exactly.
I wonder what West Coast IPA. If that is
Represents?
yeah, like is that the hint you're tasting? The hint that you can't like distinguish. Is that a West Coast product of their West Coast version, a variation of IPA? I wonder what that is. That makes it a West Coast IPA. I believe when we did the Stone Brewing podcast, they talked about doing an IPA that was their own, California's own version of an IPA, which and they tricked out the malts. They use different malts than you do in a typical Indian Pale Ale. So I wonder if that's represented in that when you just say West Coast. Is that like a word for the hops they chose to use, or is that just something cool to say? I'm sure
Yeah,
it's
that's
not. You know.
I yeah, it could be a category of beers too, because I've seen a certain amount of beers that says West Coast IPA. So what's the category to qualify it? You know, from
Exactly.
yeah, that's interesting. And but it overall, I think for the alcohol percentage, it's not hoppy. Um, but I do as I drink it, I taste like a bitterness at the end.
Okay, is that a bad thing?
Mm, it depends on if you like bitter or not. You know, there's some people that enjoy that flavor. It's not overwhelming, so I would I would get it. But I'll say this: at the store, it was an expensive 4 pack. It was probably like nearly $20. It's
Okay,
about
that
$18, $19. You know, but liquor stores typically charge more.
they do.
But it's kind of hard to find IPAs like at regular supermarkets, especially when you're talking like local breweries, you know. Because today we were gonna go over Hanger, which
Hmm.
is a local brewery in Redlands, and
Yeah, Hanger
I
24.
yeah I went to two different places and was unable to find it, so uh, we'll do that for a future show.
Yes, we will. Yeah, I have some lined up. There's actually one that I wanted to that I sought out today and couldn't find. I got three other variations. I got three other Hanger 24 beers rather, but the one I wanted was called the Orange Wedge Double IPA,
That sounds
and
good.
it sounded really good. Everything about it sounded good. A hazy IPA rather. So yeah, I've been liking the hazies lately. So my liquor store guy said they'll be there Thursday. So maybe we can do that in the next few weeks. See what's up.
Yeah, and I don't think we've done Modern Times. That's another option. So Hanger,
That is, they have a lot of beers and they've been
some
around for a
Modern
little while.
Times.
Yeah, they survived about what over 5 years at least. So
Yeah,
this company, speaking of years, this company, just like the next beer I'm going to bring out, New World's been around for about a couple of years. And they both have two things in common when I read it. They both don't have their own breweries as of now. So they come up with the recipe, they do their thing, and then they go to another brewery to bottle it for them and to where they can brew it. They're not out of their own place. They don't have their own tap room. They don't have their own eatery. They don't have their own place to say, hey, this is um, New World Ales yet. Same with
so they
Melted.
just kind of like rent out a brewery and batch up their beer and then distribute it.
Exactly. Just like the Crowns and Hops did when we got the Culture Vulture,
Okay,
Crowns and Hops doesn't have a place of their own right now. And actually, I got my second beer is Crowns and Hops. And from what I read, they are going to finally have their own um, bar, distillery, and everything, tap room, all that this year. They finally got the funds. It went open. It was open for investors to get in on it, and they got enough money to actually do it. So they're actually gonna actually they're on the verge of opening this year, and we'll talk about them right now after I finish this beer. But yeah, I have
Oh yeah.
another beer from them because I was really bad. I was really sad to miss the Culture Vulture one. So I have another one
Uh,
for us.
let's see if I have it here. Besides me in the background looking at me, that's kind of like Twilight Zone-ish.
And let me check
But
this game out because I'd be really happy if KC
oh
loses.
yeah, let us know the score. The other
Uh,
beer that I'm gonna be
KC
drinking.
won 2017.
What is it? Who's the score?
2017.
Who? KC?
KC.
Wow,
They did it.
wow.
It's
All
okay though.
right.
They're still sorry.
I mean, they're having probably the worst year so far.
It's
Um,
weird because they're a dominant team. It's a weird kind of thing that's going on. But San Diego lost, so I mean, Los Angeles lost. I've
so the belching beaver. It's
always been wanting to try it. Okay.
I could be wrong. I think it's from like Carlsbad, somewhere in San Diego. Some for sure it's in California. I think Carlsbad.
I think you're right. I think you're
And
absolutely right.
this beer I've had before, but it's good. So I got it. But as I was looking at the website and see if I could pull it up real quick, they have quite a few different beers that are look very tempting for us to review.
Yeah, do tell.
And I'm gonna pull it up real quick here.
Yeah, I see that they have a mango.
That one I tried.
The
I
the Bouchie, the regular mango.
The mango, yeah, it's like a little spicy one.
Oh, is it? I didn't see the. They have a peanut butter stout as well.
That's the one I haven't tried.
Okay.
Um,
Oceanside.
it is ocean. Okay, Oceanside. So they have a.
No, this is just one of the tap rooms. Actually, that doesn't mean that that's where
Oh
it's.
no, because when I was on the website earlier, they have their list. Then they
It's
have
all
the
San Diego.
all sour beers, and then they have like their seasonal, and there's only like two in the seasonal. Pull it up real quick.
I've been curious
And
about their beers for a while.
yeah, they're good. Actually, I was walking into a store and I saw their beer, and I liked the name of it, you know.
Yeah,
So
it sounds cool.
that's how I ended up getting it. But now their website won't come up. Let's see here. Uh, so yeah, the Belching Beaver, and then they have a lot of sours, which I'm not into sour, so I don't think I really want to try that one. But here we go.
Oh, you know, I want to tell you, I was at the bar the other day after Disneyland, or was it after Disneyland? Saturday after dinner. My bad. And I remember, I think we both talked about. I'm not sure it was on air that we don't like the sculpin thing. Sounds familiar? And
Isn't that the what is that brewery? The one in San Diego too, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yes, yeah. And I had a sculpin IPA the other day, and I was like, you know what, this is pretty good. I think it wasn't a bad beer at all. And so I have to renege on that and say that I'm down to try more sculpin.
really.
Yes, yeah, it was,
Hmm.
it was pretty good. Yeah.
I haven't had it in a long time. I guess I would be open to it. Here we go. Okay, so the mango one I've had, it was okay, and I don't think it's actually all that strong.
Probably
And
not.
this is that one you were talking about, that peanut butter stout. Definitely haven't had that one. And people always say stouts are better in the wintertime. So this is the one that I actually really enjoyed right here. It's called Deftones Phantom Bride Release. It's a Indian Pale Ale, and it's 7.1. Comes in a 4 pack.
Is that
Really,
Deftones, like the rock band?
I mean, I don't know if you can.
I can't see. No,
No, let's see if I could kind of scoot it up here. And then
no.
after it's that Hazer's Gonna Haze, which
That's your next beer, right?
yeah, that one's a 6.6.
Okay.
And then the mango one is an IPA, but it's a 6.6 as well. And then they have the Must Be Honey Blonde, which I've never had. That's a 5.5.
A honey blonde. Okay.
The Peanut Butter Milk Stout is a 5.3.
Wow, that's a low volume for a stout, don't you think?
Then they have another Peanut Butter Milk Stout, but that one's a nitro and it's 5.3.
Hmm.
And then, of course, this is just a cool name. It's called Viva La Beaver. It's a 7.5.
That's
And then
pretty cool. Yeah, it
that,
better be higher.
these are the limited releases, which look they have quite a few. And then they still have their sour series, and I guess after that they only have two that they make in 19 ounces.
Okay. What are
So they
those?
have quite a selection for us to maybe we could do like a little variety pack of the beaver.
I'm down for the Viva la Beaver. Like, yeah, yeah.
That's the only one I haven't found anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm down to look for that one.
I
So
look,
that'll be the next beer I try here, which is Hazer's Gonna Haze,
Hazer's gonna haze.
and that next beer you're trying, you showed me one. It kind of looked like that classic 80s or 90s kung fu movie.
Exactly. It's going back to the
Shogun.
black exploitation films. That's exactly what they're trying to
What was
capture.
that movie called? Uh,
Shown up with shown up
was
and
was
everything.
it
Yeah.
Show Enough?
Enter the Last Dragon.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's this one right here. So this is from Crowns and Hops out of Inglewood. Speaking of Inglewood, Ray, did you hear the story about the football team today?
No, I did not.
They played last night. Inglewood High. They have a rivalry with another team called Summer something, I believe, and they beat them one. This is football. They beat
Oh, I
them
saw that.
106-0, and it was
106 to
one.
nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was 104-0, and they went for a two point conversion. And so they're mad at the fact that they went for the 2 point conversion, not the fact that they went 104 before that. And there's controversy over the 2 points. Like what? Like when it was 60 something or 50 something, you guys just said, "Hey, that's a wrap." Why are you mad at the 2 point conversion? It's weird.
And
But
that's
yeah, that's
funny.
Inglewood, huh?
Yeah, in high school, they're always like, everything they do is always to protect the kids and the kids. And I'm
Yeah.
surprised there's no mercy rule in high school football. There's some
Is
whoopings.
is that a fact? Obviously, right? Yeah, because
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that has to be the case. So why would they complain about the 2 point conversion when it's already 104-0? They didn't even get a field goal. And this is the rivalry. This is kind of like the for us the Aztec Gladiator rivalry, or for Pasadena the John Muir and Pasadena Bulldogs rivalry. Like this is a huge rivalry. Anyone from California would understand what we're talking about. But yeah, crazy, right? It's like USC and UCLA. That's better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's and 106-0 on a rivalry. Wow, crazy.
What do you tell to your team as a coach the next day? Come
You
on, team.
do you, or do you kind of just leave?
I don't know. Do you make them run extra? Do you
I
remember our coach? He would make us just run for every like missed free throw for so we'd be just running the whole next day. The more we messed up, the more we would run. So at 106, I would think we'd be running for like 2 months.
Yeah, 106 days
Yeah,
straight. Yeah,
yeah.
something like that. It's just, I mean, you have to. It can't be on the players. Something definitely wrong with the coaching and why they kept them in the game that long. That doesn't make any sense. Why would they even put them through that? Like, how are you going to bounce back from that? Like mentally, as not even just as a unit for the team that's there existing today, but like for the team tomorrow. Like, come on, what was that? Like, that no mercy rules should be in place for high school for sure.
And since we're
Show
talking
mercy, not
about sports,
no
and
mercy. My bad.
we haven't even gone over if we worked out today. So did you work out today? Did you get run in today, or how's the
I
knee doing?
did actually. Good question. I got a run in. I did my 6 miles, and I did about 30 minutes just weight training, just off just like you taught me. But what? How long has it been? About a year ago. I've been leaning towards the kettlebells now for my upper body strength now. So I have my 25 pounders, my kettlebells. I did that for about 30 minutes with push ups and an hour run. I did my 6 miles. I'm not sure if you remember, well, that the audience remembers. I know I've talked to you about it enough, but I had knee problems for a long time. My 6 miles is good. I average about a 9 minute mile. It's not my best, but I'm doing better. I feel really good. I don't feel 100%. My right knee still bothers me, but I felt good finishing up. And yeah, I like to do it on the days that we do the podcast, just because I want to understand. Like this is this is drunks. We run and we drink beer. And so I wanted to run today, specifically because I've been doing the elliptical machine a lot, just because it's less tension on my joints and everything like that. But I wanted to make a point to run, so I'm glad you brought it up. Yeah, I feel good. I feel good. I love a run. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like listening to my music on a real run. There's nothing like it. It's just I feel good. How about yourself?
Today I have not run, but I did walk probably about over 10 miles.
Okay,
And when I walk, I typically walk with my backpack. So I would say, I don't know, maybe that's just like 4 pounds more that added on. Um,
just like a hydro pack, or
just a regular backpack
yeah,
that, yeah, just a regular backpack. When I walk, I carry stuff in there, and then if I buy something, it's easier to carry than a typical grocery bag or something like that.
yeah, for sure.
Although I did walk into a store and the security guard accused me right away of stealing. Me and him got into it, and I still have to write an
What?
email to corporate office.
Wait. Let's talk about that. What do you mean?
Uh, like when you walk into a Latin supermarket, which there's quite a few different ones in LA.
Okay,
Uh,
like a Cardenas or a Northgate or whatever.
yeah, one of those. You
Uh,
walk into one of those, you know, it's kind of different. Like the whole Latin community, the way they speak to you, the way they treat you. It's like, hola, buenos dias, disculpa, like, and so when you walk in there, and the guys are asking me right away if I'm planning to shop, I'm like, yeah, why else would I walk in there? And he's like, well, you gotta leave your,
Security or like
yeah,
employee? Yeah,
security that looks like a former gangster. And I'm like, I'm not
beer
leaving my bag with
belly,
you. I'm like,
beer
who's gonna
belly.
watch you
Yeah.
watch my bag?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't trust you with my bag. Why should I leave it with you? I could walk into Walmart with my backpack and they don't be tripping.
Right.
And basically, if they want to be cheap, they should just hire more security guards that are not, hire whoever you want. I don't care if you're a gangster or not. That, but it's like you shouldn't be treating a customer that way just by like talking to them like you're gonna steal from the beginning. You're gonna walk in. It's like, hey, instead of saying, hey, hello, good day, good morning, good afternoon, good
Right.
evening, it was right away. Are you gonna buy something? Like,
Wow,
I
that's
was like, what?
unprofessional.
Oh yeah, I I went off on him.
They're not
I
paid to speak though. Security guards shouldn't speak to you. Period.
I lost my temper with him, and I try to make him feel like a mall cop. By talking to him like that because he made me feel like pissed off. I'm like, I called the manager and made a big old deal, and yeah,
Oh, what?
yeah.
And so what happened?
I'm just gonna write to the corporate office. That's it. Express my thoughts and views on you know the way you should be approached. Hey, how about at least tell me good afternoon? Thanks
Or
for coming
like,
in to shop.
yeah.
Not like, are you gonna shop here?
Was there a
Uh,
sign saying that I can't have a backpack when I walk in this establishment? Like, what's going on?
there's like a pretty big sign that has like at least 20 things you can't go in there with, which I did not see. And
Oh, really?
if I was in the wrong, I'm okay with that. But it's just the way you approach someone. You don't come up with like at least not even, hey, how you doing today? With, are you gonna steal? Basically, it's like, yeah, I didn't like it. I
Not even. Are you gonna steal? Like you're gonna steal, and I'm checking you right now.
Yeah, but I didn't trust the security guard to watch my bag. Like, if I have my laptop in there, why should I trust that guy? I'm like, he looks shady as fuck.
Yeah, you
So
don't know him. Why would you trust? I don't trust anybody. I don't trust people that I know with my shit. Yeah.
yeah, so I just got to write a complaint, but that's it. But besides that little incident, yeah, I've been doing a lot of walking, and my training has been so-so. But
I don't know. Yeah, from what I've seen, you've been doing pretty damn good. You did 10 miles. What? 2 days ago?
no, I haven't done 10 miles in a while. I've kind of fallen off. It's all right. LA Marathon's this Sunday, so it's kind of like
Oh, it
tapering.
is.
Yeah,
Is it this Sunday already?
this Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah, my knee prevented me from this one, so I'm glad you didn't bring it up. Obviously, you understood that I've been going through some things. Kind of sad. Like all like you're gonna be there. A lot of my friends are gonna be there, so I'm kind of sad. But
Well, this is my first and only race of the year, and
wow,
I
is it?
yeah, To me, it's
Crazy.
gonna
For
be
you,
like
that's crazy. Being so deep
oh
into
yeah,
your
I
yeah.
know. Yeah, I'm typically like running so many marathons per month, per year, and I'm just kind of excited to like. I don't even know if it's gonna be the same, but be around people, try to get that energy of the crowd. Um, who knows how it'll be at the finish line? After the Boston bombing of the marathon, there was less people out at the finish line, for protection.
Right.
That beer looks really thick,
It looks super sour to me.
and now that they changed the ending, which I'm not happy with. I really don't know how the finish line will be, but uh, yeah, even though my training has kind of gone to shit, I plan to PR, and that that's pretty much it.
Okay, that's dope. So you're trying to go. You're sub four already,
Yeah,
right?
I
So, huh?
I mean, as long as I beat it by a
A
second,
second, yeah.
yeah. But
That's dope. Yeah,
we'll see. Maybe 3:45 to 3:50, 3 hours.
nice.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna go for.
That's
I think
awesome.
my fastest time in LA Marathon has been like 4 hours and 8 minutes. I've never been able to really do good in that race.
Yeah, I mean, my fastest LA marathon was maybe my first and last one, and I believe it was a 5:28 and a 5:30.
To me, it's always because it's so crowded in the beginning.
Well, of course,
You're like running like this,
it's literally
and
crowded for like 4 miles.
and you have to break off to the very edge and run like on the side, and you have to. If you want a good time, you have to avoid drinking water for like the first few miles because it gets so crowded with people trying to drink water. And if you need to use the bathroom, you're gonna have to suck it up and use the porta potty at least like in mile 8 and beyond because the first so many porta potties are always so just like
Yes,
crowded.
congested, packed. Yeah, and you got that's like a sought out race to first timers, and so you're gonna get that. So it makes sense like that versus like a rock and roll or any other
Well,
marathon like that.
one of the reasons you get that is because you get a lot of people who get in a corral that isn't their pace. They they the corrals for people that don't run are based on time. So if you run an 8 minute mile or 9 minute mile, 10 minute mile, you go in that corral so you could kind of run with a group, and you're not slowing other people down. If you're running a 12-minute mile, they're not going to put you up with a 6 minutes because you're just going to basically cause a traffic jam. But a lot of people that are slower know they're slow and they want to try and kind of get a head start. So they go up front and they basically cause traffic jams because there's no way you would be passing them up if they would have started in the correct corral. But when you have over 20,000 people running, it's really hard to like monitor everybody. Let me see your bib, let me see your whatever to demonstrate that you actually qualify to be in here. They typically only care about the elite runners, and after that, it's like you're on
Yeah,
your own.
yeah. We have their money. Let them run.
I still haven't got my T-shirt from LA Marathon last year. I paid
What?
$200. I'm like,
Oh, for the virtual?
no, I mean for the actual marathon. It
Was
was
there
the
actually a
last
marathon?
marathon, and it was LA Marathon, and then like the next day everything shut down in LA in
Oh,
California.
that's right, because it was
It
in
was
March.
like
It was in March.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
it was
right.
insane. It was like the last major event that happened. Then after that, the world was ending.
That was crazy. I was at the restaurant I was talking about. I went on Saturday. A place me and my wife like to go to. It had the best prime rib and best crab legs on the planet. Um, we were there in 2020 on March 14th, and on March 15th, that's what like we all found out. Is the employees were like, "Yeah, dude, we're not going to work tomorrow. It's done. It's over." And sure enough, yeah, it took like over a year for them to open up again. And yeah, it's crazy how it was that quick, just instant, just like the mom and pops shops, the small business owners, the cool local restaurants that you love going to. They were just like, well, we're done. Well, Walmart and Denny's and Target and Applebee's. they did not suffer one bit for 1 minute. It's crazy. But so I'm glad to see that all the places that I enjoy are still floating above water, at least, So yeah, it's crazy. Even with marathons, I'm glad that everyone like in rock and roll is still alive. The LA Marathon's still alive. The Spartans are still alive. Like no one really took a huge beating, and I'm happy for that because it could have been a lot worse. And I don't think it will be. I don't know, but that's a different topic.
Well, one of my past shows, I vented a bit against the greedy race directors, and I think I might have said that I hope the greedy ones didn't make it because there's different types of race directors, like and, and it's just coincidence, but even before I became an ambassador for the OC Marathon, I
Mm,
really liked the way when the COVID happened, they're like, we understand. Um,
for
we're gonna do a
once,
virtual,
yeah.
and if you don't want the virtual, we can defer you to the next year. If you want your money back, you can have your money back. And some of the races said "f you" to the runners, basically.
Oh,
Like,
really? Which one? Hold on, hold that thought.
yeah.
I'll be right back.
So I will keep mentioning here, and yeah, so a lot of the race directors basically, and some of these races are really expensive. LA Marathon right now, okay, it closed on online registration closed on October 31st, which was yesterday, and it was probably like a 220. And then with your taxes, New York Marathon's another one that's, geez, I've heard it's like $300. I have not had the opportunity to do it. You have to win a lottery or raise a lot of money in order to get into that one. Every year I've attempted. I have not been selected for the lottery yet. So that's. But I heard pretty much New York, you lost your money, um, and there's a lot of different races that I know I've paid for that I may or may not get my money back. Some deferred it, but then they canceled it again. So now we're talking 2022. And when you buy T-shirts in bulk, when you buy medals in bulk, and then pretty much all race directors, what they do is they have the volunteers, the running community volunteers to give water, to give out your bibs when you pick it up. So they don't pay no runners, and they pocket pretty much all the money. They do pay for, medical people to be there and closures. But when you're charging over 20,000 people, 200, $300, you're making a nice profit. And for you not to give the people that are basically your business some sort of option like defer the race or a virtual race, or you're just asked out. So those type of race directors, I hope they didn't make it. I hope it's like good customer service, taking care of the people that take care of you will keep you going. I know it happened a lot in the martial arts world. In a lot of studios, they really had to shut down, and for the people that have that extra money, they took care of their studio, their instructor, even though they weren't going and getting any services. But they knew that if they didn't pay when this was over, they'd have nowhere to train. But
Exactly.
then, but then there's people too that lost their jobs, and they, even if they wanted to, they couldn't afford to do it, so they had to, you know, not support the dojo even though they wanted to. But I think that if as long as you treat your customers, even though I don't think the race directors look at runners as customers, they just kind of think like, oh, well, we got this race and everybody wants to run it, and uh, maybe they take a little bit of runners for granted, you know?
I think so. I think it's a lot of just it's an opportunistic approach, and they really rely on the runners without. They didn't expect this to happen, so they didn't know what to do with it, and I can't blame them completely, just because they're probably like, oh wait, this is like they're living check to check, so to speak, with this whole racing thing, especially on the small timers. I know that you said you talk about the dojos. I noticed that Red Dragon, for instance, which you coined, you told me about the cool. I can't get it out of my head. The MIG dojos. The MIG dojos were doing fine. Like they were gone for like 6 months and then they came back. But there's a lot of dojos I've seen around, like a your random Shaolin Kung Fu's or whatever. They're closed down completely. You're like the ones that you don't. It doesn't have like a big name, you know. But other people, other good dojos, like we have a buddy that has a dojo close to us. His dojo did pretty well, right? But he had to do a lot with it. I noticed his dojo; they were doing childcare and
Yeah,
after school
I was gonna
care.
say it wasn't doing well. I talked to him
Oh, oh, did you
and just
really? That'd be great
yeah,
to hear.
yeah, and I've invited him on the show. It's we're negotiating. He's very demanding. He wants his own video game deal.
Oh,
He's
he's like that,
no. Yeah, I'm just messing
huh?
around. Even though I've known him for a long time, I got to twist his arm to get on here.
No,
But
he's a good dude, and I would love to have him on the show. Is he a beer drinker? I don't even know that.
oh no, I'm just trying to get him on on like my other show, and
Oh, yeah,
I can't even twist his arm yet.
really?
It yeah, working on it, working
It's
on it.
funny because he does great videos. He's like a funny guy, awesome person too. So like, yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, yeah,
It seems like it'd be right up his alley.
exactly, exactly. It's interesting how this whole you know live video, no editing, uh, live
I live
audience.
for it. It's all about the freestyle. I'm hip hop, you know.
Yeah, but
It's how we do
some
it.
people, I think a lot more people got comfortable due to the Zoom and the whole pandemic being on camera, but some people didn't do that. Like I know when I was still working before the whole pandemic, I we had phone meetings. We still didn't do Zoom meetings. It was all through the phone, which was just a bunch of people, and then we could like instant message each other, and it was like a waste of 15 minutes when I could be working on what I really need to do.
For sure. Yeah.
They're just like, "How you guys all doing?" And
Always.
well, we care about you. And I'm like, okay, can this be over? Because then you're gonna be shitting on me in 5 minutes because I didn't do this and I didn't do that. You know?
Exactly. I'm actually at the desk where my wife works from home. She works for a big bank out of state, and so this is again I'm at the hotel, not my own house. And oh, actually, bro, but about 2 weeks my house will be done. So I'm pretty happy about that. And so anyway, I'm on her desk. So yeah, I understand her Zoom meetings. They have one like I don't. I'm hearing them. I'm in bed and I listen to what they talk about, and it's just like one or two people that just want to hear themselves talk. And it's like it's not informative. It has nothing to do. It doesn't like there's no one that's getting anything out of it. But they're constant. They're like twice, two, three times a day. You know, and it's like, wait a minute. I even asked my wife, I'm like, does anyone getting anything out of this? She's like, no, it sucks. It actually detours me from doing my job. Yeah, it's just just like one person that just wants to be heard for no apparent reason other than to be heard. Yeah, it's funny. It's a silly thing
Well, since doing a little venting here, I'm like, I can't stand these corporations that have these fake logos and slogans and like for the public or for the employees, but they don't actually believe in anything. They just it's like a key catchphrase for them, but they want you to be like, oh yeah, it's about this, it's about that, and then you hear about the CEO doing something dirty. And it's like, come on.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Yeah, because think about it. I mean, as an employee of anything there's so many quotes on this. Like you're doing you as an employee, you're not. How far does the passion go unless you're actually doing it for yourself? And I haven't found that niche yet in my life where I'm working for myself when I wake up when I want to, whether it's 6 a.m., 7 a.m., or 9 a.m. I'm still working for somebody else. So I'm not going to lie to you on a Zoom call and say how passionate I am about your company. I'm not. I'm passionate about running. I'm passionate about, first and foremost, my family. I love talking about beer. I love trying new beer. That's cool. I love talking to my boy that I've known since I was a kid. But I am not going to lie to you and smile for my 9 to 5. You know, and I wish people kept a realistic approach to that and just get
It
the money. Like I'm gonna
It'd be
make more
so
money for
dope to be
you.
able to tell the truth at a job interview. Imagine why are you here today? Oh, because I can produce for you and make you a lot of money. That's what they want to hear, right?
But
But in reality, you're there because you have kids, you have a mortgage, you got to feed yourself. But you
yeah,
can't say that. You got to tell them that you're gonna be a good soldier, employee, and make them money. That's all they want to hear.
yes, that's all they want to hear. But they're the same person. They're just on a somewhat higher level because they're always looking at above them. Remember, it always falls from top down, right? So like they'll get fired before we would because of that pressure. They act like that's why you get your asshole boss. That's why you make fun of him so much. It's because he's looking at that other guy, and the other guy's looking at him, and on and on and on. It's just not a comfortable setting to be in, especially if you're trying to be free. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
it really
yeah.
isn't. Just like one of the best movies ever made by Robert De Niro, Bronx Tale. The working man's a sucker. He really is. Why do I only say this because I'm a sucker. I hate that alarm clock at 3 a.m. because I have to wake up and go to work. I hate it, but I have to do it. I have to do it because I have a family, because I have to provide for my family. I feel like I'm a sucker. I really do. But I know that's what it takes right now because I haven't created anything else for myself that's better. You feel me? And for that, it's like, okay, I'm a sucker till I get out of this.
I that movie has so many good little
For
uh
sure.
different
Life.
stories and angles. And
Oh, for
I
sure.
one time I was so many times I was so angry working at the bank, and I was like, You're here because you want to be here. This was your decision. If you're so unhappy, start applying different like." I would take that mentality, but I was gonna do a whole show just on sports because Bronx Tale just I've never seen sports ever the same ever since I
Oh,
heard him say
the bus ride.
Mickey Mickey
The bus.
Mantle doesn't give a shit if your dad pays the rent
Yeah.
or not. I'm like, oh,
Yes.
what the fuck? I'm like, that's true. I'm like, I'm the biggest 49er fan, but if I were to die, they don't give a shit. They wouldn't even know if I died. And
Nope.
that's okay. But that whole movie just like flipped the way I just viewed sports. And I'm still passionate about sports, but I'll
And
never
yeah.
see it the same again.
And for all you 49er fans out there, he's not lying. Ray, Coach Ray is the biggest 49er fan I've ever known since day one. So yes.
So I didn't give
So you
a review of this beer. It's
okay? Can I go?
go
Did
for it.
you did it?
Actually, yours look more. Oh, wait, put it up.
Yeah,
Let's see. Kind of almost looks the same kind
yeah,
of
pretty
color.
much. Off
Look
the
at
bat,
that.
I enjoy this a lot more than the other one.
Same.
Um, yeah, it's fruity, not tart. It lacks carbonation. There's something it lacks. I'm not sure what it is, but it's a good beer. I would get it again. It's pretty cool. Come on, it's a pretty cool label, and I really. Oh, I wanted to give you a little background on the two owners, male and female, for Crowns and Hops. Their names are Tio Hunter and Benny Ashburn. I'm not sure if her name is pronounced Tio, Tia, Tio. I'm not sure how to feminize that word, but it's Tio, Teo. And they both went to one went to Brown University, the other went to
Is it
Howard, I believe.
is it Theo?
No, it's no H.
Oh,
Yeah.
cause I
So
think it's this is going to old school, but there was a DJ back on 92.3
An Asian
Asian
DJ.
Theo.
His name was Theo, and he had that
Yeah,
bass in his voice,
yeah.
and
He
all the
spelled it
ladies
that
loved it.
way. He
Yeah.
spelled it that way. Yeah,
Oh, Teo.
yeah,
Did he really?
yeah.
Okay. So okay. So anyway, what the cool thing about it is I read the story about them and like how they got into they were in college and they both were in college and they both graduated bachelors at least and they weren't even into brew until in their 20s and Benny tried a Rogue Dead Guy Ale for the first time with somebody from college or like somebody else that he's not used to in the hood because he's from Inglewood, California. I don't know if anybody knows. But for anyone that doesn't know, Inglewood, California is kind of like your Compton or kind of like your South Central. It's like the hood in Southern California, and so the hood wasn't privy to good beers. Like they wouldn't even have had a Newcastle back in the day. You know what I mean? It's more like St. Ides,
Malt liquor.
malt
Malt.
liquor,
Yeah.
or Budweiser at best, or whatever if you were bougie. And so the first beer he tried was Rogue Dead Guy Ale, and he was blown away of how good it tastes. Just simply, it was this is a good beer. Like I taste the difference in how it makes me feel, the taste of it, the quality of it, and he was literally blown away to the point where he said, I need to discover that, I need to experience, I need to understand this more, researched it, and just became infatuated with the brewing process. And then learned that out of back then when they started 2 years ago, I believe, there was like the brewery, the microbreweries are growing. It was like 30,000 microbreweries in the country, and 1% of them are black owned. And then it went down to like, wait a minute, there's a reason for that. And then it just went on and on. And like, wait a minute, no, there's so many flavors in this. We can have conversations. The more brothers that I have try the beer that I like versus the beer that they like, or the alcohol they like a Hennessy or whatever. Like, drink beer, drink beer. Beer is good. So like, I can't believe that it took. Like this is kind of new school. A Rogue Dead Guy Ale is kind of new. You know what I mean? So he's never tried like a, I don't know, what was before, like a Stone. Even a regular Stone beer from like 15 years ago would have been cool. And it was interesting how he started. He found he was passionate about quality beer, and he wanted to give it to the people as an option, a choice. And there's not that option in the hood, whether it's in the black community, the brown community, or even in like, because I've been in Philadelphia, even in the poor white community, I see that they're drinking the same shit. You know what I mean? Like it's just like in the hood, they don't have any options. So he's like, I'm gonna bring it to the hood. And there's no tap rooms in the hood. If there are, it's gentrified and they don't want us there to begin with. So like I'm gonna do this for us and let us in. Let us experience good beer for the first time. That being said, this is a good beer. This is a good beer. This is not Elysian level, which is my favorite. My favorite beer right
Oh,
now is Space Dust.
I like the can. I wish they would have put a what's his name? I don't know his name, but
Oh my bad, wrong beer. Excuse me.
the Shogun or the guy in the
This is the
red.
beer.
I wish they would have put him in front. The guy in the yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure copyrights. They probably just trying to make a generic version of it.
Oh, that's probably
Oh
true.
yeah, copyright. But this is better than the much better than the first beer I tried from them, which was a Culture Vulture, which was like a limited edition or whatever. I'm not sure if this is not, but I want to try them more and
The
more,
culture
especially
vulture
because I
was
love what they
good,
do.
but it was a I could really taste the guava, and I wasn't the fan of
That's
guava.
what it was, right? You said the guava.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I wasn't a
And
fan of it per se. I like this much better. I would actually get this again. But before I get this again, I would try other beers from Crowns and Hops. I think Crowns and Hops is. I want to try everything that they have because I want to stand behind them, and I want to try a beer that I truly love, like I love Elysian Brewing Company, where I can, support them, and I love what they stand for. It's just like it's funny. They started. I think one okay. Well, one of the guys worked for Sony. The other guys worked for Beats, like doing the music, like as far as the engineering, like no background in biology or in the brew process at all. He had that Rogue Dead Man's Ale one time and said, "Wait a minute, what is this? This beer is good. This is not like the beer. I'm a beer drinker, but this is beer. It's different." And from that, they just flipped the script and created Crowns and Hops.
wait, okay. So I'm gonna give my review, and then we'll close it out. But I'm gonna kind of speak like to a lot of Mexicans, we call each other paisas or paisanos,
Hola,
or if you
paisano.
if you go to a taco place, you'll call each other primo, which is cousin, even if you don't know each other. Um, and a lot of them don't like IPAs, so even if you make it available to them, they're still not gonna drink it. This isn't the type of beer that you could like sip on all day. Start maybe like barbecuing. They love they love to watch soccer, so watch your soccer games, barbecue, and keep drinking all night. No, you're gonna be like shit faced, and you're gonna be out.
We
Um,
yes, yes.
this one's a 6.6. Now that I look at it, it seems darker than the other one, but it's not as overwhelming. It's a good flavor. I like it. I've had this many times, and I'll keep buying it. It's
It looks really
and
good.
yeah, and then of course the name Hazer's gonna haze.
Come on,
So
haters gonna hate. Yeah, the play on that. Yeah, if in case I'm sure everyone understood that. Yeah,
and
haters
it's
gonna hate. Yeah,
damn good times.
damn good time.
Six
That
point six.
that's not bad for. Do you think that's a beer that you can just like drink throughout the Sunday fun day, like barbecuing, or is it like gonna get you? It might get you.
Interesting. It might get you because it's not like a 12 ounce. I think it's a pint.
One 6.6, right? You said 6.6.
Yeah. hmm
Okay, yeah, it'll get you.
So, what beer would you like to announce for the next show? What beer should we do? The next show will be November 15th.
I'm thinking we should do Hangar 24 one time, just because they deserve it. That's out of Redlands, California. And after the next round, I'd like to get more crowd participation and let them talk about, like, please now, like, we have people here, right? Talk about your favorite beer. Let's try to get that, and then let's discuss it. Come on the podcast, talk to us. I want to hear. We're California. We're very, we have a little bubble that we live in, and
What? What bubble are you talking about?
I
But
live in a
well,
bubble. So I always tend to go, even when I go to craft beers. Like if I see another state, I just like I don't even look at it. I look for California because I the California pride I have, and so I always go for California beers. So like, come on, like someone show me something, show us something, tell us beforehand. We'll pick it up and review it. Especially if we're talking about beers that look the same or have the same aesthetic or the same, let's have a conversation and let's introduce more people and introduce more beers and let's have a conversation and talk about running more, because that's all we do is we drink, we run, and we have fun.
and so all right. So then let's make it official. Then November 15th, our next show. This show is called Drunks, emphasis on run, and we host it every 2 weeks at 8 p.m. Pacific time zone. That's a very nice shirt. Uh, and so the next one will be Hangar 24. It's from Redlands, California. We'll be maybe testing out different flavors of that one, and then after that, we'll announce which one will be the beer after that. And
Yes.
see, anything you want to mention before we close out for today?
I don't know. I'd rather wait to the green room. I can't look for it. Anyone that wants to go to the green room, let's talk.
All right, and so thank you everybody for joining in. Has been Drunks episode. I don't even know which one it has, but this was a
Yeah.
kind of variety of different IPAs. Next time will be Hanger 24,
Out of Redlands,
and
California.
out of Redlands, California,
And
and
they've been established. They've been around for, I would say, a good 15 years at least. Right after Stone, so Stone was like 20 plus. Yeah, it's a good brewery to talk about out here from
yeah,
California.
yeah, they've been here for some time actually. Now that you mention it, yeah,
Yeah, for sure. My
and
favorite
they're
Hangar 24 beer is actually one of my favorite beers. When I go to a bar and I don't get my regular beer, my house beer is always been a Hangar 24 orange wheat. But I don't. You can get that. Have you tried the orange wheat?
I think I have, but I try and stay away from wheat beer because it makes puts on pounds like easy. Like
Not as much as you run. That's not true. You run too
the
much.
wheat, like Blue Moons, anything with wheat, it's like
Yeah, it's
whoa.
lighter than a blue moon, but I understand what you're saying, but not for what you do. Like we don't have to worry about that. We're
Mm.
runners. That's not true for runners unless you
Ah,
chase it with chili cheese fries. Our boy taught us that before a marathon. We were at his house and he was eating sushi, and ever since he said that, do you remember what I'm talking about? So
no,
yeah,
because I've done sushi before a marathon and with sake bombs and
yeah,
asahi.
sake bomb's not gonna get you. It's the chili cheese fries or the fucking cheeseburger or you know what I mean. It's other shit that you eat. Yeah, it's not. It's not. It's not the beer or the sushi or not. It's not the beer or the sushi. It's the chili cheese fries. It's oh, let's go to Tommy's. Ooh, you know, it's other stuff. But anyway, let's talk in the green room because I want to talk to you. I want to keep it real. I'm
All
tired of
right.
it. I don't want to be censored
So
anymore.
thank you everyone for joining another episode of Drunks. We will be back on double check here, November 15th, and we
Sounds
will be
good.
reviewing Hangar 15.
24.
Hangar 24. Thank you everyone for joining another episode of Drunks, co-hosted with Ty and me, Coach Ray Z. Enjoy your night.